Hey guys, what's up? It is day 256 and 257 in my 1 year daily diary challenge. This challenge was prompted after I completed a 100-day challenge, and those first 100 days were intuitively prompted through a meditation devotional session. If you want more information on those, please pop back and listen in. If not, let's just get to these days. So I am doing a combo of the weekend of Saturday and Sunday, 256 and 257. It was a weekend with the kids. We were planning to relax and hang out and just let them have time to sleep in and just chill. But also I had some comp tickets for bowling and a movie. So we were going to get to that at one point. So my grandmother had sent me a text message fairly early that she pulled her back out, and she was like she couldn't do anything, and it was just really hard, and she was using the walker to get around the house. And she said she might not be going on her trip that she was planning on going on, so that she would keep me updated. So that was the beginning of the weekend. And then Saturday, kids slept in, I slept in. We all got up and made our way, downstairs. My daughter and I got into a new show that we were watching, and my son just hung out and played games and did different things around the house, like in his room. And he took a shower, thankfully, without any problems. And so Saturday was a really, really relaxing day. We just hung out at the house. We didn't do anything. Everybody was chill. Made the kids, lunch and dinner, and had, breakfast is kind of optional here. If they feel like they want to eat it, they can. If not, it's not a big deal. So then we went to sleep. Not too late, but later than normal. And there was a storm that came through, so it was kind of rain and thunder and wind and all of that. Sunday, woke up, was letting them sleep in again, chill. Today we were planning to get to the movie and the bowling, and then my grandma called me and said that she was feeling much worse and she couldn't do anything. She needed help if I would be able to. So I just gathered the kids up and said that we needed to go help. We, put the bowling and the movie to the side because we can ultimately do that anytime, and went over to her house to just help out. And it was raining and storming on the way over, but we got there and, it was fine. So just helped with the laundry, helped with, putting things away in the drawers. She just aggravated her back enough where she can't really do a lot of bending motions. And so she accidentally dropped a plate and it, broke on the floor. So I cleaned that up. And then, pulled some trash out for her friend who comes to pick up her trash. Moved her car back under the carport. Took care of her chickens, got them food and water, and collected the eggs. And, just helped out to do things that she normally could do, but with her back pulled, she couldn't. And just hung out the day, made dinner, and everybody ate. She had some dessert things, so we could have that. But we sat around and talked, and I had made this, decision in my mind that with all of the things that have happened with the house and with the definite trajectory of, my mom's staying there, that's what she said. My grandma, it's her house, so they will be occupying it. And I decided and had that redirection of what I needed to do in my own life and how I needed to remove myself from certain energies and certain situations, and how I need to protect my peace and my kids' peace and move forward in a direction on my own which is fine. And so I said, I don't need to talk about the house. I don't need to talk about future plans of the house. I don't need to do any of that. And I don't need to tell my grandmother, like, I'm not talking about the house because of this. So because I made that decision on my own and I hadn't talked to her, it came up. She was talking about gardening and she's like, oh, when we're at the house, we should save newspapers. And I said, well, you and mom can save newspapers, but I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be there. And then so she got, shocked and wanted to know more. And I just, told her about how I was feeling. And, I have to do what's best for me and the kids. And the living situation in the house is not the best for me and the kids. It would have been okay if I was, moving in to then shift the dynamics at some point. But to move in with the knowledge that, oh, I'm moving in for like 6 months or whatever, I can't even do 1 month. So I was talking to her about that and talking to her about I have to do what's best for me. And she doesn't need to feel sorry for me. She doesn't need to like try to fix things with me, that this is my decision and her decision is to stay in the house with my mom, and that's fine. And I said, well, I'm here to support you and love you as well as I can. And if that means that at some point you change your mind and you can't live in the house with mom, then I'll support that and I'll help you the best that I can, whatever that looks like. And I said, I just can't put myself in a position to be in the house with all of the energy that's going to be going on and expect everything to be just like beautiful and roses and sunshine and rainbows and stuff. So that was a big conversation, and she definitely went down some rabbit holes as far as like talking about how their relationship was and how it's changed. And I was really honest with her about a few things, about how I felt. And it really doesn't matter if somebody's better than they used to, which is great. I really do love improvement, and should be acknowledged. But it still doesn't mean that I'm going to put myself in a situation that's not healthy. I got out of a marriage that was very unhealthy that I was going to stay in just for the kids because it wasn't that bad. I had a roof over my head. I had food. I was taken care of, quote unquote, in the sense. But it wasn't healthy because the energy, the dynamics was bad enough for it to start getting violent, for it to start getting abusive financially, verbally, all the things that it was. And for me to just be like, it's not as bad as it could be, I'm going to stay in it, that wasn't healthy. So I need to recognize outside of, those kind of relationships, every kind of relationship, all the way down to just somebody I meet and is an acquaintance, is this relationship healthy and is it beneficial? Because I don't have to put myself in a position to be in unhealthy environments. I have the opportunity to start fresh, to set up my little family dynamic the way that I need it to and the way that we need it to. And that does not mean, it's not looking like that's the option. And so she was a little sad, but she understood. And I said, this is what I need. And I can't control other people. I can't control other people's behavior and how they act or react. All I can control is what I do and how I set up, the environment for me and the environment for my kids. So it was a long conversation that we had in between doing all the things and helping out. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to disown the family. It doesn't mean that I'm going to cut off relationships. It just means that I'm going to engage with people differently. And it means that I'm going to have different relationships with people, like my mom and like her husband and like even my sisters. Like we were talking about all of that. I said, I am a different person. I am an adult too, and I am engaging with people who are family in my own way now. And because of the way that my family and people in my family have engaged with certain members, I have to then reach out on my own and say, hey, I would really like to connect with you because you are family and I'm not the same person I used to be. I'm not the same person as the family. Like, it's sad when you have to explain away like the drama and the trauma of family. So that's what we always also talked about too, about that. And that I am not my mom, I am not my grandmother, I am not my sisters, I am not my dad, I am not anybody who is blood related to me. I am not them, I am myself, and I am different, and I have gone through a lot of different things. And I even told my grandmother, I was talking to her about my voice, and I was saying, I'm not the same as I was. I was very deathly shy, and my voice was stifled. So much so when I was a young person, like kid, teen, tween, all of those things. Even as an adult, my voice was stifled. And when I interact with my mom now and when I interact with other people who used to know that person, I am different because my voice is not stifled and my voice has been released. I'm still working on it because it's all things continue to be worked on. You're not going to get to perfection. That, the pie in the sky perfection. But I said, I don't know what trauma happened in my childhood to cause me to have my voice stifled this much. And my grandmother just looked at me dead serious and said, I know exactly what happened. And she told me about a situation where we were all at my grandmother's sister's house. So I would call them aunt and uncle. And we were at their house for like Christmas or a holiday party or holiday get together. And my mom said something really nasty. So this is my grandmother's interpretation. My mom said something really nasty to my grandmother, enough to make her upset. And she went into a different room to just like let the emotions out and cry and be upset. And then I came and followed her, saw her crying and upset. And she said, I marched right into the other room where my mom was. And it was when I was 4, in a 4-year-old way, told my mom, don't you make Nana cry. That's not nice. And my grandmother said that my mom pulled me into her and yelled in my face that I should never, ever take my grandmother's side and not to do that. Specific words, I don't know. This is my grandmother's interpretation of it. And I literally emotions started to open up and flow. And I was like, that is really so hurtful. And that is so sad. And that is so traumatic. Like, imagine being a 4-year-old and trying to be sympathetic to someone who you love, who's in your family, and having someone else who you think is important in your family to tell you to shut up and never take somebody else's side or tell them what to do or not to do. And then my grandmother said that really all throughout my childhood and, even growing up, my mom was very against and had a very a big grudge against any kind of interactions that we would have with her. And it was almost like she didn't want us to be friends or be close to my grandmother in a certain way. And whatever that has to do with my mom and my grandmother, that's their deal to, figure out. But I do understand now a lot of the trauma that was caused when I was little and how I was programmed and how I received all of these blockages and traumas. Which doesn't mean that I'm going to hate my mom, but it means that I'm going to step lightly and continue in this path because that is what I know. I don't want my children to have trauma from my interactions with my mom. I don't want my children. Of course, they're probably going to have a fucking shit ton of trauma from me and my ex and all of the stuff that we went through. That is something I can't change. I can't control. It's something that needed to happen for them, so that they could move and grow as adults, and I can't do anything about it. All I can do is be better now and help them the best I can. They're not babies anymore. I can't go back in time and change what happened. All I can do is focus on what's in front of us and focus on healing myself and healing the people around me if they are willing to accept that. So it was just a very, very interesting, expansive, knowledgeable, day with my grandmother, just hanging out, helping her with all her chores and listening to what she had to say. Of course, she's going to tell the same stories over and over again, and that's fine. And, it doesn't change my relationship with my grandmother that I am not going to live with her. It doesn't change my relationship with my grandmother that, she's continuing to want to be on the specific path that she wants to be on, and that's fine too. So my thing is to support my family and to support the people I love well, and to support myself in the path forward, to have clarity in my mind as to, what I really want and need. And sometimes it comes with big shifts and adjustments that are hurtful. And like I said, I cried. I was like, my chest was hurting. I was heaving crying. It was ugly crying when I was purging all of those emotions from releasing the house in Florida and releasing a relationship with my mom. And that has been coming, like I said, for 2 to 3 years since I separated and divorced my ex. It was a lot for me to focus on to deal with that subject and those traumas. I could not dig down and dial down to this level yet. So it was meant for now when I could easily move through it. And, it's like I said to her, I was like, it's okay. I know you want to help everybody, and I know you want to help me, and I thank you for that. But I can't be the best version of me when I'm in an environment that isn't good. So, we talked about it, and I was like, I'm going to do the things that I can control and focus on me and focus on the kids and focus on the best that is for us. Obviously, I'm moving down there so I could be closer to family and have more family support. The move is already in progress. The move is already lined up. It's like everything is kind of lined up for that move. My grandmother is moving down there, so she won't be here in North Carolina anymore. So it feels like Florida is the move, but it's shifted from where it was originally. And that's fine. Like, we shift and move and pivot. I'm just following the flow, going with that flow state, and just, following my intuition the best I can. I also had some realizations in my morning meditation and then I also do this car meditation where it's not really meditation because I'm still focused on the road and driving, but for some reason when I'm doing something like that, so mundane, so automatic, I am driving in the car. I know where I'm going. I don't need the GPS. I don't need my directions. I'm not like focused on following a new path. I know where I'm going in it. So it's so ingrained there that I start to open up other things and I start to hear little nuggets and information downloading. And it's like in the car sometimes when I'm doing that, I get these big pieces of information. And so it was like, I've been looking into doing, becoming a yoga instructor, doing breath work certification, doing sound therapy certification, and some other certifications in that realm. and I just continue to feel prompted to do those. So I am going to start, seriously looking into all of those things, what I need to do, what are the first steps. Will it matter if I start here in North Carolina, or should I wait until I get to Florida? And so I am feeling more. I love coffee. I love my coffee business. It's going to be something that I still stick with, but I'm feeling more drawn to this spiritual realm and all of those modalities that come along with it. I am still thinking about this huge project that that came to me on my trip down to Florida the first time in the end of January, February, and I have so many ideas, and I am trying to just get them all out and down the way and time I need to. So yes, after we were done at my grandma's house, we just came home and, just chilled out a little bit. Kids were kind of getting in the mode of getting ready for school. So it's like, charging computers, putting things in the bags and getting things, clothes and homework done and all kinds of stuff. So went to bed at a pretty normal time. And like I said, I've been doing my mantras and my manifestations, not changing them to any new manifestations, but just the same. I am putting myself in the state of receiving and being open to what's coming, putting myself in the mindset of abundance, because I am fucking abundant, and so should you. There is enough wealth and abundance in this universe for every single person to be ridiculously abundant and wealthy. Now, abundance can come in many different forms. So if you're just thinking, I'm going to manifest abundance, I'm going to be like abundance, 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 come to me, I am receiving it, all the things. You can be abundant in pretty much anything, and you can be abundant in things that aren't good either. So just be careful when you're manifesting to be super specific. And I manifest abundance as, the universe is always taking care of me. I am always supported. I always have everything I need. I am abundant in love. I am abundant in wealth. I am abundant. And I just go down the list of the things that are good, because you can be abundant in a lot of things that aren't necessarily good. So like I said, when you're communicating with the universe on the things that you want, be very, very specific, because even with some being specific, when I manifested my job at the roastery, I literally manifested everything, but it wasn't what I needed, or wasn't what I wanted or thought I wanted, because it was like, a job at a coffee roastery, director of education title, Monday through Friday, weekends off, 9 to 5. And I was like, and this pay and that thing. And I got all of it. It was 100% my manifestation in play, but I didn't want it after I got it. It wasn't what it was what I needed, because I needed to see that I didn't want it. But like even specific manifestations, you just, sometimes you get them and you're like, what the fuck? I didn't want this. It's not exactly what I was thinking. So the universe is always going to be on your side. It's always going to agree with you. And so whatever you put out there and manifest, it is going to agree and it's going to give you. So if you manifest something that actually, if you're not even thinking you're manifesting it, but you're in a negative mindset and you're just like, I'm never going to lose weight, I'm always going to be fat, like I'll never do this, I'll never do that, I'm always working paycheck to paycheck, I never have enough money for everything I need, like I'm never going to travel. If you just do all of these things, even like daily complaining normally, the universe is going to be like, oh, okay, well, we get behind that. Like whatever you're saying is what we get behind. So I would have to say, just if you do anything today, just go through what you're saying to yourself and just do a little inventory and see if you're speaking to yourself with grace and compassion and I guess it wouldn't be abundance mindset, but it would be like a royalty mindset where you're like, I deserve everything great. I deserve everything amazing. I deserve everything beautiful and wonderful. If, even joking negatively about yourself is still, the universe is going to come along and be like, hey, okay, we believe that too. So I do my best to take inventory of what I say and how I feel. And if I'm feeling something negative, for sure, just let it out, get my journal, write it out, and then really be careful about like how I'm expressing that. And then feel like, I'm feeling really pissed off right now. Why am I feeling that way? I'm feeling that way because I'm holding in a lot of emotions that are just festering, that are creating this negative space, and I need to figure out how to remove those and release those or whatever. If I'm feeling really down about my appearance, my weight, and I'm like, okay, why am I feeling this way? What does it really matter? I have been manifesting personally health and strength and vitality. And I don't care if I have a bad day, I'm still going to manifest health and strength and vitality because I want to be strong. I want to be healthy. I want to have vitality, like just amazing, beautiful strength throughout my life. So just focus on that. Take inventory. Put yourself in a little bit of Delulu. If you're not quite there and you're still feeling down about certain things, just push yourself to fake it till you make it. That really does work. And be super specific about your manifestations, because when I manifested abundance and wealth and being taken care of, I had 2 car accidents, and I didn't manifest a car accident, but it happened and it took care of me, and it provided a lot of financials and a new car that's going to take me into the next phase of my life. So even if you manifest something, you might be surprised at the results and how it comes through. So just be open to that as well. That's all the advice I can give right now. But anyway, thank you guys for being here, for being present and listening to all of my words. Please take what resonates and just leave what doesn't. It's I love that you're here supporting me. Subscribe, share, comment, like, all the things or none of the things. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.